All right, good morning, good evening, depending where you are in the world. um, so I want to go through Bitcoin a little bit today. I've been dying to sort of redo this chart somewhat. It's starting to look a little bit messy, um, and obviously I just want to redraw and go through the settings. Now I'm using Take Profit. Take Profit, amazing to be honest. They're a competitor for TradingView, so if you have issues with TradingView for whatever reason, or perhaps you just want something different or even a cheaper alternative, you should have a look at Take Profit. I've got links all in my bio if you want to have a look. For now, I'm just going to go through and delete all the drawings I've got so far. Okay. Primarily because I redo this. I wanted to do this earlier, but I figured, I'd wait till I've got the stream going, and then we can all see it, can't we? Let me try and get the chat up. There we go. Okay, so the usual program I use to use the chat is currently not working. So you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat as best I can. The chat's over here on this screen. Yeah. If I don't answer right away, I apologise. I'll do my best. Let's have a look. Okay, so I want to keep this yellow and this green and red because that's a spot position I have open at the minute called 88,000 as entry with 130 odd as target. Assume. So what is that currently? 89,809. Okay. Let me just do this as a horizontal ray. Change that to settings parameter 89,809.1. Okay. Style, let's change that to a slightly dark green. Cool. Should we make it a bit thicker or should we leave it at that? Make it a little bit thinner so it's not quite so in your face. Do the same with this one, I guess. There. Okay, cool. That works, eh? Right, now obviously the first thing we want to do is we want to get the overall channel. Let's have a look at the monthly, shall we? Okay, it's not much data, but there's enough here to get this channel drawn. Okay, Take Profit have recently updated on this for me. About there, I think. Yeah, it's not quick, is it? That's that one. So yeah, that's still, it's quite deceiving because we've got quite a bit to go down for that. So basically now the channel's on tape, but snap to where your mouse cursor is, which is really good. Previously, when you used to try and do this, they'd the top end part of the channel would be up here somewhere while you cursor down here. It didn't make much sense, but they have fixed it now. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Just I wouldn't know. Right, channel and middle line. Background. Let's take the background. That's horrible. Middle line's dotted. That's cool. Let's make that dashed. Yep, for the center. Okay. I'm just having a play around with this ends. What colour should we have our channels? It's in uptrend, so let's make it a nice blue. No, that's not quite there. Let's leave it orange. hopefully they'll add their own hexadecimals, so you can input your own colours, which is great. Your own shades. Alright, okay. So that's the main channel on the monthly, I assume. Now, while we're here on the monthly, okay, it's very important. And let me just turn this down a little bit. Background music, so you don't definitely. It's very important with the levels that you draw. Okay? So we'll draw some levels. Let's try and do it on. Okay. So we're looking here. Okay, so as you can see, these levels were quite well respected previously. Okay, so for this, we'll probably do this as a supply. Okay, interesting. That does the middle. Don't want to do all the way. Give it. Background. Let's make it a little bit more transparent there. Okay. Extended top. Interesting. Always extend it to the right. It just makes it easier. Should we extend it left? Okay. Middle line. This is a new one, I believe. I think they've only recently did. Oh. The middle line. Interesting. Okay. We don't want the middle line on this anyway, okay? So this would be let's name this as supply. Okay. Do we want it blue, or should we go with a green for a supply? Supply is almost always a buy point, isn't it? So let's call it green, I think, for now. Save template, name it as a supply. Okay. Now, if I click on it, you can do this with the trade and view, by the way. Oh, no, I can't actually. Now I can't actually reselect it. If I come up here to the layers, I can. There we go. Let's change that to green as well. Just make it all green, I guess. No, I wanted to check. Okay, supply. So if I cancel that, click on it, and then you can't select it. It's just the background. That's quite interesting. I'll make take proper over that. Alright, so that's previous supply. Okay. Again, I suppose there would be. Oh, excuse me. Now, what's going on here? It's kind of like I don't have any draw tools, but I do. Okay, so you see this point here. Okay, I'd say that's another supply point. Okay, primarily. That's it. That's the supply for the bottom range, and then this is the supply for the top. Okay. All this here is probably, I'd say noise, but you know, we're just trying to identify key levels more than anything. So here it's actually quite interesting because this is we're looking historically here. Okay, so from here to here. Okay, we want to, let's not extend that to the left, we want to extend it to the right. I want to change the background to, let's have a look, what color should we have? It's almost like an FVG that it struggled to get out of. Okay, I mean, that is an FG, it's come down, it's filled it, and then carried on. So that's an old FEG, okay? Oh, I can't select it, that's frustrating. Layers. Let's delete that for now. Well, once we can add in custom colors, I mean, this is going to be so much better, to be honest. So now what I want to draw here was a support. Okay, so horizontal right. Okay, this level right here has as support. Let's do this green again. Settings, we only have the option for a line. So I'll do 4 pixels, I'll make it nice and thick so we can see. Okay. I can't add text to it. Nope. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do this like this. Do a call out. This isn't the ideal way that we want to be doing this, by the way. But I suppose it would do for now. So this would be monthly. Okay, because we want to identify this as a monthly level. Text 16. No. Make it italic, that's pretty cool. Don't need to underline it. Strike it through. Leave it black, I guess. Yeah, no, definitely leave it black. Background. Let's make it a bit more. Yeah. Hideous. Cool. I'm just playing around while we do this, okay? It's kind of important that we get this set up right, okay? So that's a monthly support level right there, okay, that we want. That doesn't make much difference, okay. Let me save this as a template. Let's just put monthly. Okay. I mean, this is good while I'm doing this because I can also collect a lot of it as feedback to pass on. So let me just turn the music down a little bit more so it's not sort of make a voice and overshadow. I do apologize, I've just gone through all the settings again. So, I had to reset everything up so it's not quite as good as it should be. But it's okay. Right, okay, so looking above us now, we do have a resistance. Okay, I'm gonna put an area here. Okay, so this will be do I want to draw it from there? I guess to there. Okay, settings background again. We want this to be like a red. Okay, so this is like a monthly resistance area. Let's do the same. I don't know what it is. I mean, I like the colours. I like the feel of Take Profit, but at the same time, I don't like the colours. I don't like the fact that I can't have custom colours. itself, it's kind of I'm kind of forced a bit on these colours, but they are working on it, so that's the main thing. Parameters, that doesn't matter because I've drawn it. I can't write text inside, so this is something else as well, I guess. So this would be, sorry, this would be a supply zone here. Okay. So let me delete that. Too much it. And let me edit this, make that a supply. Okay. So if I've got this correct, that's a supply. That should be a demand. Okay. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. That's demand. That's supply. I don't know why it wasn't same, but it is. So now if I switch here, yeah, so I can just, cool. So that's supply and demand there, okay? So that they do act as support and resistance, okay? But the key point here is that one, supply and demand are slightly different, yes, since they're key levels, okay? But yeah. So currently, we've got a couple demand or supply. It's kind of a bit hard to get used to the naming. So here would also be supply. Okay. So ideally we're waiting for these levels on the monthly. Okay. Let me, I can't, the thing as well is like with take profit is you have like meta information. Okay. So for example, the text block, ground position, parameters. Okay, you can't actually input the price there, but there you've got the two brackets and price. I'm not quite sure what that is, by the way. But there's loads of different things like that you could use. Why has that changed? Okay, so it's not saved the text either. That's so it's been a while since I've gone through all this. So this is good feedback that I can pass back to take profit. Okay, for like use. So that's fine. It's not saved the font or anything. Let's have a look. We want it italic. Cool. That's fine, isn't it? That's monthly. I want to put all this inside, like this. Now it's a bit messy doing it like this, but these like now we can tell. Okay, ideally we'd like to be able to mark it up ourselves and input into the fields, but as you can see, we can't select the boxes directly like that. You would be able to if, so right now we have to go in like this, go to the rectangle and select it. Okay, now if for example we have the borders on, okay, so the border's on. Okay, now I can go and select it with the border, but without the border I can't select it, which is a bit frustrating. So let me go there and then supply. Okay. So if the borders are hidden, you can't select it. And also we want the ability to be able to label things without having to do it with the callouts. But the callouts work for now, you know, let's not be too fussy. Okay, we can see that that's the monthly levels. Okay. Now, monthly levels, they obviously have greater weight than a weekly or sort of a daily or 15. These are what we call key levels. Okay, so when we're at these levels, they're key, they're crucial. Okay, so now on the weekly, okay, we've got we can see that a lot of these are going to respect we have. Okay, but we've also got like little intraday levels. So where we are currently, okay, we're right in between a monthly demand zone or supply zone. Yeah, there isn't really much else to draw except maybe let's have a look. No, I don't really want to draw too much more because it gets confusing. So what I will do, I'll go back to the monthly. Okay, let's bring up the object tree. Oh wow, I've got okay. I guess if I show all this a second, this is stuff that I previously hide from people. There we go. Object tree, please. Yeah. Let's delete. Okay, I've got a ghost rectangle here somewhere. It doesn't want me to show or hide, it's just there. And I can't delete it. Okay, so we'll put that at the bottom. Oh, there it is. I'll do it that way. Yep, there you go. Nope, it's not gone. I got a ghost rectangle, guys. That's pretty funny. All right, so horizontal ray. Where is that? Okay, that's there. Okay, parallel channel. The channel is pretty simple, nice and easy. Rectangle. That's the one we want to get rid of. So let's delete that. Okay, and then I'll get rid of that as well. Okay, cool. So I've got rid of this for now. Those, okay, and I've got the monthly support point here that we've already bounced off. Weekly, let's have a look. So previously when we bounced off this area, we've gone quite high. This time it's only elongated wicks, long wicks, should I say. I'll just minimize that, that's frustrating me. Let's have a look. Okay, so on the weekly, what are we looking for? I don't know why this keeps showing up here. Has that cleared that from the object tree? Nope. Okay, I honestly I don't know where that is, but like, look, it's shown up again. I'll delete it, and it's still going to be up here, isn't it? If it is, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna play around anymore. I'll report that as a bug. There are a few bugs with Take Profit. It's okay, you know. They're a new company-ish, starting up, very small team, but they're very quick at fixing bugs and issues. Okay, on the weekly. Okay, this is actually quite good here. Can't really identify any particular levels here. I'd say there's a small area there, but then you could argue that the monthly could feel that as well, I guess. It's only a small bit more. So the main level I think is going to take President there. Okay. I'm primarily looking for reactions. That was on the monthly, that wasn't even on the weekly. What am I doing? Okay. So the weekly, this section down here has been quite good. Okay, so broke through and then flipped it and bounced up. Flipped it and bounced up. Now we've rejected it and we broke all the way down. Okay. Back up. There is a gap here on the weekly. Color shit on. Guess I'll do that color for now. I'll run out of options on colors because I can't do my own hexadecimals. That's fine. So it's kind of hard when I want to color code things. I can't really color code. That's no problem. We can make do for now. So what am I naming this? I'm just going to name this FEG. Okay. So another point I'll bring across is when I create a label. That's back up again. It really wants to mark that point on the chart for me, doesn't it? But there's a small imbalance between 96 and 98. Okay, so we do want to read that at least. Now look at the weekly. We can see from the EMA as well that it's currently riding the 7-day EMA as a resistance line. Okay, just reduce the sound music a little bit more. So that's quite interesting there for the weekly. What's it doing on the monthly? Yeah, the monthly it's not even come up, but the 7 days is starting to meet the 10-day. Okay, ideally we want to close above the 7-day EMA on the weekly. Keeps coming. It's beginning to annoy me. Right. See, I'm looking at all these interlevels, but they're all sort of covered by that FEG look in that area. So I'm not gonna extend it for now. Like the top of this, bottom of this candle, sort of at the top of this one. So it kind of covers it. So I'm just gonna leave it there for now. Okay, but that's quite an important level to have. Okay. And this, I can't see too much distinction. I froze up a little bit here, so I'm just waiting. 2.2 gigs of RAM, be fine. Okay, so really there's quite a few strong monthly levels. Okay, this is strong on the daily. Okay, how we've sort of through. We have reclaimed this. Okay. Excuse me. But these are really strong monthly levels still. Right, let's do a bit of retrace, shall we? Oh, I don't know what those colors are. It should default to my parameters. Point A, point B, levels. Okay, let's delete those. Don't want them. Okay, add level. So first off, we want the 0.236. Okay, that'll do. Mark that as green, so it's the target. Save. I'll put this as default because clearly the previous one. Save. Okay. No, hold on. Before I actually do that, I need to go into settings because I prefer to. Yeah, there you go. Reverse. That's cool. Okay, we can add labels as well according to this. So is that just the numbers? Show price levels in percentage. That's fine. Trend line, so you can see where it's drawn from. We want that. That's not what we use this for. So there is an option because some people prefer to. Okay. Background. Okay, that's pretty neat. Can I? Let me just. Map player. Shame it doesn't do the background. It only does the line. That's a shame. So maybe we'll have to recommend that as well. Let's turn the background off for now. Because it'd be nice to have individual background showing up depending on the use case, I think. You know? Again, this ghost rectangle keeps showing up. That's really frustrating. Depending on the timeline. Is it back there on the weekly? Yeah, let's see. Back on the weekly. Goodbye. Set there on the monthly. Yep. Let's get rid of that. Okay, back on the weekly. Back there again. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know why I deleted them, but that whatever it was, I don't think I was meant to. Alright, anyway, so what I'm doing here now is on the daily. Okay, so we want to draw. We draw it from the start. Okay, to the bottom. Let's just extend that up. We don't like the borders on them. There's no point. Borders are horrible. We do how I want this. Like that. Okay, so I'm marking the golden pocket level here. Okay, that's a very important level for any fib retracement. Okay, at least for me. Okay, so that means I don't have to have this kept up all the time. So I can just do that, for example. Okay, so now I know that yellow's there. What I do want to do is make these probably not as empowering. I mean, they're like really low on the transparency anyway. They're really empowering. I don't like it. Which is why I want to choose my own colours. Okay, and then let's just choose that blue as well because, yep, that's right. It's that one. Because I want to be able to still see the candles. Okay, it's very important that we can still see the candles. Okay, so we've got our demand and we've got our supply points. Otherwise known as support and resistance. If you want to keep it simple, okay, it's good to keep things simple. Okay, I've marked the golden pocket up. Okay, we still haven't really retested the bottom of this channel yet. Okay, so yes, I do have long open. I can't drag it across to show you it because I don't really want to give away my account size. It's not a great deal. I'm not that rich. I wish. One day, if I carry on. But anyway, so I do have a long one. Okay, this is my current position. I'll draw it on. Let me just do this. Go to settings, parameters, entry point. My entry point is 90.990.1. Okay, target point. What? Why is there no stops point here? Okay. That's my target. Okay, they really need to add a stop loss value. Okay, well, stop loss value is 89,157. Or 160. That'll do. Why's it got USD NAN? Position long account size, and there you go. I got it on there anyway. 52. That's all I'm playing with at the minute. I know you should never put more in than what you can afford to lose. Okay. Okay, I don't like this USDT. USDT should be 4 decimal places. Okay, so it allowed me to put it in, but then it converted it to USD. Okay, that worked there. 3477. Okay, cool. That'll do. Don't know why it converted it then. Can toggle the account on or off, but the USD is showing up a few times, so for now I'll just turn that off. They can fix that. Use account size and risk. Risk percent is always 1%. You never want to risk more than 1%. Okay. Leave fixed risk reward off and a risk reward ratio. That's as you draw this. Okay, so your input, your values, target, background. Oh, that's neat. Okay. That's pretty neat. I'll turn that off. Always show labels. That doesn't appear to do anything. Quantity doesn't do anything. Absolute change. Okay, cool. That's good. Percentage. Yep, we do want the percent change. Why not? Pips. You can add the pips if you want that on there. Account state doesn't seem to do anything. Risk reward ratio, we do want that. Profit and loss, of course we want that on there, don't we? Okay. Multiple take profit, so you can add multiple take profit if you want. That's one thing that's not on a lot of places. Okay. Stop loss 120. Okay, that's potentially worth using, I guess. But there should be a stop loss section here where we can put the stop loss in. That's not there, but that's fine. Okay, so I'll add that to the ever-growing list of what I'm going to send them after this stream. Right, okay. That's fine. That's my current position, okay? So I'll see how that is. I've only got that very low margin just to see how it plays out, okay? Special 4.9, you know, call it 5R. I'm not going to get a great deal out of that, you know. I might get $5. That's fine. You know, that's 10% of my portfolio. That's a good trade if it plays out. Right, anyway. Let's have a look. Where was I? Yeah, so we're on the daily. This is the golden pocket. What I wanted to do before I remove Fibonacci was I wanted to see if there was any fib levels that I needed to pay attention to. So let's go right ahead and let me default that. Yeah, there you go, that applied. Okay, so we've got the 786 66618. It's 0.5, which is pretty much where I am, just under. So chances are that will go to the 0.5 if it plays out. Okay, this is the important. We've got the 236 here, which we bounced off. It's come up to the 382, failed. Come back down to this support. It's quite a big gap, isn't there, between the 236 and 382. Okay, so let's have a look at more into it. I don't like how it keeps. I've selected the default every time. That should just be what I use. But hey, that's fine. Small frustration. So the golden pocket here is like literally just my stop loss is just below the golden pocket here on the short term. Okay, got the 716, which seems to be holding. Okay, there isn't really much here. The 0.5 it bounced off, coming down off the golden pocket area, and now it's coming back up. So I'll leave that. Okay. So the analysis here. Okay, so I've just redrawn the chart. I've spent I'm not quite sure how long. Let's have a look. Okay, I've kind of got rid of how long I've been streaming for. Probably should leave that up. So like 45 minutes going through this again. To show a lot. Okay. On the short term though, what we do have, okay, let's draw a trend line coming down. Okay. So we broke through this here. Let me just draw that there. So as we crossed over here, this was a pivotal point, okay, for me. So I like to do trades. So have a look. And then also I've been a fan of these dotted lines a little bit. I do like them, stuff like this. It's pretty cool. I can thank Trader Neil for that. I actually saw one of his videos and he was using the dotted lines, so I thought, oh, that actually looks pretty cool, you know, for the arrows anyway. Okay, yeah. So here we've got support section. Yeah, I'll probably best to do this as, do I want an arrow or a line? No, I'm going to draw it as a triangle actually, so you guys can see this. And then about there. Okay, so we've got this triangle ascending wedge. Okay, now generally what we want to do with these ascending wedges is we want to break to the upside. Okay, we do want to break to the upside. Let's get rid of this. Okay, on occasion though you can break to the downside. Okay, so let me explain about price action. Okay, on a bullish momentum, if we have a consolidation pattern at the top, okay, and we break to the downside, it's really seen as a trend change. So like we broke to the upside, consolidation, broke to the downside, consolidation, broke to the upside, consolidation, broke to the downside, consolidation. Okay, so if we was to apply this sort of mentality, okay, let's have a look. of just what's gone on recently. Okay, so it's broke up. Okay, consolidated. It's broke down. Okay, so let me redraw this. It'd be nice if you could always go back on a path, wouldn't it? But you broke up. Okay, you've consolidated, broke down, you've consolidated, broke up, you've consolidated, broke down, we've consolidated. Okay, so depending on how long this consolidation is, if we're to continue this pattern of trading that we've got here, we should again to the upside once more. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? I don't know why that's, yeah. Okay. Now, if we do that, hopefully maybe we can see another all-time high before the final crash. Okay. But I'm just thinking, just based on sort of market in general, the way the news is, if you follow the news, and how it's all doom and gloom. Okay, I am playing an upside movement, yes. Okay, but I think personally, I think it's going to be more a fake out. Okay, which is why I'm only going to really play it here a minute. I'm expecting this to break down more. Okay, I'm expecting this to play to the downside. I'd like to think it's going to play to the upside, and that's why I've got my long. Okay, just based on that pattern I've shown you so far, we haven't broken the overall channel yet, so there's no reason to expect further downside. Okay. So yeah, we've got a consolidation pattern after a trend consolidation. We need to watch it to give us direction of where we're going. What we don't want is a sharp movement to the downside. Okay. So let me just, I'll leave that because that was a weekly or a monthly level, I believe. Put that there. Okay. If I lose this trade, I'm only going to lose $1, guys. Okay, so that's 2% of my portfolio. Okay, so it's not a big loss for me. It shouldn't be a big loss for anyone else either. Okay. Because that's how you trade, really. All right. Anyway, so is pretty much this. If anyone does have any questions, or want me to go through any, that's one thing I did actually want to go through. 1 second. Sorry. Let me just reply to the message. 1 second. Okay, cool. And then what was I gonna do? Yes, I wanted to go through what I went over last week. I put it in on the Discord and I was like, this is what I went over. Let's have a look. So Rune, let's have a look at Rune, see how well this progress, shall we? Okay, Rune has hit stop loss. Rune was a bad call. Okay. The second one was TIA. Let's have a look. Rune's hit stop loss. I imagine the rest of them have. TIA is still effectively in, just by the looks of that. I've got to zoom right in here. Yeah, okay. So it's still in play, but to be honest, if you follow, I'd close it out. That was bad analysis last week by the looks of it. Okay. Let's have a look at Rune. So these are just sort of like, let's see how they go anyway. Third one was Mask. I didn't actually follow these. I was overly confident with them last week, but I did want to see how they'd done. They'd perform. Mask has hit stop loss today. Let's go. Okay. Fourth one was hype. Let's have a look. That's well and truly like that's unlucky. Okay, so on hype that is unlucky because it broke out and then now it's come straight back into channel. Okay, so hype's gonna fall. Okay, by the looks of that. I mean that's a shame. Did we actually what? No, 0.97. Not even 1.5. Okay, but for hype, it's come back into the channel after a little fake out, which I was kind of expecting, but I was hoping it breaks upside because I'm overly bullish and optimistic on the bull side. ATA, let's have a look. It's here, and again, it hit stop loss day, so exactly 1 week after, yeah. Overall, you know, the market is bearish. Okay, those trades were banking on a reversal that never happened. But yeah. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching today. And I hope that it's been enlightening for you, and we'll try and work on it. But yeah, I'm gonna go once sort those issues out now and report them. Cool. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I hope you have a good day, good evening, wherever you're from. Good luck.